Welcome to What's Up, Bolts? I'm Fernando Ramirez, and that guy right there, I don't know if he's happy, sad, I don't know how to gauge it, but he is the son, the cowboy hat wearing, sunglass donning, son of a gun, Dan. Dan, so what is it today? How are you feeling?
I'm all right. You know what I mean? It's a new week. I got that Bill Belichick mentality, my guy. It's on to freaking Seattle. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I had a good day at school, good day at practice. Now I'm on to Friday. We got a game. Now I'm on to Sunday. We got a game. I'm good to go. The Padres won today.
Yeah, no, they did. They handled business. That was a good one. Come from behind they were down 4-0. Another from behind win. What were you going to say?
Let's just hope when they go to Philadelphia, Sirianni doesn't go talk to them about trying to get them to get the dog mentality. Let's just save that. Save that for the Eagles. Don't do it.
Exactly. So obviously this weekend, Chargers are playing the Seahawks. And you know what's funny, Dan, is that Russell Wilson is gone. Yes. The Legion of Boom is not there anymore. Get it. Marshawn Lynch is not the running back. But they're still a dangerous team. They still have some playmakers on that team. You have DK Metcalf. You have Quandre Diggs. You have Uchenna Nwosu, former Charger. You have some playmakers on that team, and that's what's really interesting about the Seahawks. And before we go any further, we have a very special guest on to break down this game. Right. He is a compa. He is the man of the people. Charger fans, you'll remember him as Eric Williams, now of Fox Sports. He's going to jump on with us and break down all things Seahawks. He covers the NFC West now for Fox Sports. So it's going to be good to have Eric on, chat with him about what he thinks about the Seahawks. And I mean, Eric used to cover the Seahawks as a full-time for the newspaper in Tacoma up in near Seattle for years. So he's seen the growth. I mean, I was asking him the other day, hey, what was it like to watch like the Seahawks go from what they were to a Super Bowl winner? Like, man, I remember they traded with the Chargers a 3rd-round pick for Clipboard Jesus, Charlie Whitehurst.
Yeah.
Then they bring in Matt Flynn on a 3-year, like $30 million contract. And they end up drafting a small little quarterback out of Wisconsin, I believe, 3rd rounder in Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson ends up beating everybody out at one point. So definitely going to be interesting to hear what Eric's thoughts are on the Seahawks and what they're doing. So we'll get to that interview pretty soon. But Dan, I mean, like I said, the Seahawks are 3-3. They're a good team. They beat the Broncos. They were the first ones that kind of exposed the Broncos and showed, hey, they might not be everything that they were week 1. Yeah. So just what are your thoughts so far on them?
Well, they're no slap team, right? Like, you have to understand the thing that they have also, they have a Super Bowl winning head coach. And so far this year, we got embarrassed against Super Bowl winning head coach. So I think that's going to be the big obstacle in the way of the Chargers. You're going to have to be ready to go for intricate things and everything else. They have playmakers. They have the type of offense. I'm not going to say I wish I had, because obviously they don't have the son of Odin, and I do, leverage on me. But they're efficient. They try and move the ball, control the clock. They try and be efficient. Geno has revived himself, dude. I'm not going to say he's the second coming of Brady or anybody else or Joe Montana for all you Adam Sandler fans. But they're definitely no joke.
No, definitely. And I mean, that's the thing is that I spoke with Derwin today and on Wednesday, and I asked him, Derwin, what do you remember about him? And he said, oh, I remember how good Geno was when he was here. I mean, he's like, I think he was only there for Derwin's rookie, I think his rookie year. Yeah, only his rookie year. And he said he used to prepare us for games. I mean, the way Geno was, he was a scout team quarterback. He's like, he was really good. He was accurate. He's like, you could tell he had a leadership role. I'm like, are you surprised with what you're seeing? He's like, no. He's like, Geno's a veteran. He knows the league. That's why he was drafted so high. Same thing Brandon Staley said. Brandon Staley also said that he is not surprised by what Geno's doing, that it's Geno that he's like, he was drafted high for a reason. Yep. Everybody knows him. He's a veteran. Yeah, he had that downtime, but now he's going back up. And Geno has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
Geno
where he
has a
got his
chip
jaw
on-
broke, right? Was he the one who got his jaw broke?
I
in
think
the
it
locker
was.
room?
Yeah, I think it was
The
him
Jets?
when he was with the Jets.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so definitely gonna be interesting. But before we get into all that, I know now it is time to get into everybody's favorite
Let's
segment.
go. Oh, if I forgot I was going to do this, or else I would warn my QB protection services. I love this.
Whoa. Okay, calm down.
I love this. I love when you use the office.
I said breathe. I'm trying. Wait a second.
I love that. I love those office words.
So, Dan, today we're going to do a little bit something different, though. I'm not going to have you review Charger film. I want you to go and show me the Seahawks film because they're a tough team. They're going to be a tough team to go up against this weekend for the Chargers. So I want you to go and show me tell me a little bit about the Seahawks and kind of what you see. So obviously, let's not sugarcoat it. They went out, they drafted Charles Cross, they drafted Abraham Lucas. Both of their edge guys both of their tackles are rookies. And that was the problem that they had for years. They had problems defending Russell Wilson, and now they've gone out and they've gone full offensive line. They got center Austin Blythe from the Rams, who said he's a leader. He's a good center. So
He was
Dan,
there last year, right?
Yeah. So Dan, show me a little bit. So Cross is on your left-hand side and Lucas is on your right.
Okay.
So
I already like Cross. Cross has 67. That's my old high school number.
So
I love
right
that
now
already. Oh, he's zooming.
All right.
Here
So
we
now,
go.
so this is against the Arizona Cardinals, JJ Watt and everything. So just what are you looking at?
The only thing right there I kind of didn't like, you see how he's kind of out of control, his feet cross. As an offensive lineman in the pass pro, in the run game, you never want your feet to cross like that because there's zero power. See right here when he comes down for the double team, that's perfect. But I don't like that. Watch how he puts two hands on him and it turns his shoulders. Then he's already out of position, right? As this linebacker's flowing. This linebacker's an idiot. If he would have flowed harder, this tackle wouldn't have stood a chance. But zoom it back or go back real quick one more time. Watch his feet right here. For the listener, I mean, get on YouTube. Watch a little bit further back, I think it was. Yeah, right here, right? Watch his feet when he climbs to the second level right here. Right here, watch. Go. Go right here. Right here, it's crossing. Right there, boom. Look how close together it is, right? There's no power. This guy has to squat like 500 or 600 pounds to be in the league, and him crossing his feet like that, there's no power, there's no leverage, and I think his shoulders are above his.
Do you think that was a holding? Look at JJ Watt right here. Do you think that's holding?
No, that's not holding. Oh, no, yeah. Well, I kind of soft. They would be kind of soft, but I mean, I could see it. I could see it either way. Right there, right? That's the thing that offensive linemen sometimes fail to understand. All you have to do is throw your hands up and throw a pick play like in basketball, right? Get a pick in there. Get your hip in there. You have no idea how many times I would hip block people. And when you throw your hip into someone else's hip, the hip controls your equilibrium. If you knock the hip off track, they're going to fall on their face and eat some turf, dude.
So the way I see this is 60 pulls, and so does 84. So 84 standing right next to 72.
He's in the wing? No, he's on the line. Okay.
Yeah. He's on. So like
probably a counter of some sort.
Yeah, so both of them pull.
Yeah, look, here's the kick out. Here comes kick out. Yeah, see, his helmet's in the wrong spot to begin with. Like, your aim point is your helmet on their inside shoulder. That way they can't get under you and they can't get around you to make the play. He was just out of position. He didn't adjust on his pull.
Watching this, I just think of the dude from The Longest Yard. He's like they got a running back named Maggot. Is he good? He fast. I mean, he makes fast people look not fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Kenneth Walker's pretty fast.
Yeah.
The way he was able to get that angle.
We're gonna get the here comes the y'all don't really want it now.
All right, here we go.
Here's on defense.
Oh, here's on defense.
Look at that. Look how he sets the edge, though. You see that guy? I don't even know who that is. See, this is a problem. This is a killer for offensive linemen. When you are not aggressive in the run game, look how he's pass blocking, dude. Gosh dang, that just drives me crazy. That hurts my heart. Look how high he is. No leverage, no power. God, get it off the screen. It's going to make me vomit. I'm about to go get my whistle. Start yelling. Oh, my God. That was disgusting.
Look at their secondary.
What are we doing? Now it's
secondary.
Look at that. They cover tight, dude. They were only giving up the check down, Charlie. Oh, here he goes. Oh, my God. He fumbles. If you're listening on audio, right, that was Kyler Murray running with the football thinking he's Mike Vick out here. Oh, my God. Just zero high and tight. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Bada boom. The ball's and on the ground.
Quandre Diggs is, I think, the one that knocks it out, if I'm not mistaken.
That is so just atrocious. There's no way the quarterback coach didn't lose his mind film day.
And then here's a little secondary work.
Yeah, look how tight he is.
That's the rookie, Tariq Woolen. He's
really look how tight he is. Yeah, he's tight, dude.
I think he's one of those 6'3", 6'3" receiver, like, my bad, cornerbacks, like the ones that the Legion of Boom used to have. Definitely
Brandon Browner or whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to show you one more. This is a unique play because I remember New England used to run this, and so watch what they do. New England used to run this all the time. So they have obviously.
Oh, I know what this is. Yeah.
So I mean, you can call it out. Go ahead.
The direct snap, right?
Yeah.
He acts like he's coming up to say something. He panics, or he's looking at the sideline. Yeah, I remember this one. Of course, you gotta be awake, right? Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get your eyes on the quarterback, and you think, oh, it's a fumbled snap. Just run back there and get the fumble when the running back actually has it, and they're run blocking. I saw this on Sunday. I saw them execute it, and I was like, oh God, come on, you can't fall.
Watch the offensive line.
Yeah, look how they fire off though. Yeah, go. Yeah, look how they all ran upfield and it created a lane. I think he got positive yards. But
yeah, he did.
That's why you can't fly upfield, dude. You have to be disciplined on the defensive side because they're inviting you upfield for a reason, right? An offensive lineman not going to just get out of the way for no reason. Look, upfield, there's probably a big old hole. There it is, and boom, bada bing, he gets open in space. Come on, dude, that's some grab-assery. That one's for you. Hilbert! Oh! That's grab-assery right there. You got to be awake on defense.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, well, that was a little film review with Dan. Now let's go with Eric Williams, and let's talk to him about what he sees from these Seahawks coming into Sunday at SoFi Stadium. Guys, it wasn't too hard to pick. Who do the Compas want to talk to for Chargers versus Seahawks week? Well, none other than Eric Williams. Eric Williams from Fox Sports. He covers the NFC West for Fox Sports, as I said. And he used to cover the Chargers, now covers the NFC West. So why not bring him in? He knows both of these teams very well. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. And how you been?
Fernando, what's going on? I've been good. Been a fun season to cover so far. Good to be talking Chargers again. Obviously, team I covered for 7 years. I covered the Seahawks for 6 years. So you're right. I know these teams very well, and looking forward to watching the matchup this weekend.
Yeah, no. So you've been around the Charger organization. You saw it. You saw the Seahawks mature before they hit their Super Bowl run, and then you've seen the Chargers the last few years. Just what have you thought so far about the Chargers this season and kind of the games that you've watched?
Yeah. Well, let's start with the Chargers first. 4-2. I think they've won 3 straight now. I think one of the things that strikes me about this year is they're winning games, close games that in the past when I covered this team, they figure out a way to lose. And to me, that's a sign of a good team. Even when you're not at your best, when you're dealing with injuries and you're in tough situations, somehow you're able to manufacture wins. And we've seen that, on the road against Cleveland, a place where they've struggled at times to get wins. And then at home against Denver, again, another team that has given them trouble in the past. Special teams comes through for them. Hopkins makes 4 field goals on one leg. The punter does a good job of flipping field position in a game where there's not a lot of offense. And they find themselves at 4-2, with a chance to maybe be leading the division if they could somehow figure out a way to beat Seattle, because of course the Chiefs are playing in San Francisco, a rematch of Super Bowl a couple years ago. So I like where the Chargers are at, particularly if they can get some of their frontline players healthy. Obviously, Bosa coming back and Keenan Allen are going to be big for them later in the year. In terms of the Seahawks, they're kind of a surprise at 3-3. I think, nationally, when they traded Russell Wilson, everybody felt like they got fleeced in that trade. Now, if you watch things kind of play out, you're like, yeah, maybe they knew something going into that. And certainly people I talked to within the organization felt like Russell had kind of, dropped a couple steps in terms of how he was playing in the last couple of years. They didn't feel like they wanted to pay him what he felt like he what is his value in the open market. Russell, of course, goes and gets paid in Denver and is struggling in transitioning to a new offense. Meanwhile, you look at the Seahawks, Geno Smith is playing pretty well. He's been there the last 3 years. I think they kind of knew what they had in Geno. Geno looks a lot different than, when he was with the Chargers, backing up Phillip Rivers. He's certainly matured, certainly looks more comfortable in that offense, certainly decisive in throwing the football. And he adds that element of running the football that they had when, Russell was there early in his career. I think for the Seahawks, they did a great job in this year's draft. They have 6 players that are contributing right now. When you look at their bookend tackles, Charles Cross and Abe Lucas are doing a good job of protecting Geno. Their second-round pick, Kenneth Walker, the third, is a very explosive back and is now their lead guy because Rashad Penny is done for the year, broken ankle, and I feel bad for Rashad. Just can't, unfortunately, stay healthy. When he is healthy, he's been productive. But Walker is now, shown, why he was drafted second round, very elusive. And then, the revelation for them has been Tariq Woolen, their 5th-round pick out of University of Texas San Antonio. 4 interceptions as a rookie, 4 straight games with a pick, has been impressive as a guy that is playing, their corner position is built like some of their former guys like Richard Sherman, tall, lanky 6'4", 205. Kobe Bryant's been their slot defender, has played well for them. And then Bo Mafe has been a guy that's created some pass rush for them. So they're getting a lot of contributions from that rookie class. And then they still have 2 first-round picks next year that they can go and get a quarterback if they feel like that's the way they want to go. So they're sitting pretty good right now.
So obviously, when you look at the Seahawks, and it's like people thought, oh, Pete Carroll's senile, maybe he's over the hill, maybe he doesn't know. No, and honestly, people were disrespecting Pete Carroll. I remember when they traded him, but man, he's done everything. He's gone and done what he's needed to do. Fix the defense. You draft. I think right now, as of right now, they had an A+ of a draft because then obviously the offensive line wasn't good either. So can you just talk about the job that you've seen Pete Carroll done, and obviously his coaches and during the offseason?
Yeah, again, I having covered that organization closely, I wasn't surprised that Pete was able to kind of to get things rebuilt or retooled, this quickly, because I saw it firsthand when he first came in. His first year, they were able to go 7-9. They stuck with Matt Hasselbeck the first year, then they moved on from Matt Hasselbeck, and with T-Jack Tavares Jackson, rest in peace, they went 7-9 again before they finally got the quarterback position right with Russell Wilson. So Pete understands how to put the pieces together in order to go out and have successful teams, week in and week out. He builds from the defense. He wants a solid running back to kind of build his running game around. And then he likes to have big receivers on the perimeter like DK Metcalf that can create chunk plays. And so they can run the football, play action, play fast defensively, create turnovers. Defensively, they're still struggling. I mean, they're still amongst some of the worst teams in the league in terms of yardage that they're giving up and big plays. They have a lot of missed tackles on defense. So they still have a ways to go. But I think in terms of their foundation, I think they're in a good spot. And yeah, Pete, is 71 years old, but he's a guy that is younger in terms of the way and his approach to life. He still has a lot of energy. I think you're right. A lot of people were surprised that he was willing to commit to a rebuilding effort after moving on from Russell Wilson. But obviously, Pete had a plan. The GM, John Schneider, is closely aligned with Pete. And so they're on the same wavelength in terms of how they're going to build that team. And again, right now they seem to be in a good spot. But again, it's early, they're still in week 7. still have the second half of the season. Obviously, things could change.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, but that's the thing that I meant. Like, I remember people were mad at John Schneider and him for letting, because it was either him or Russ. And obviously they ended up choosing the head coach, which you rarely see just because, I mean, of the history of the NFL and how they kind of are more player friendly. But when you look at or when you look at the way the Chargers could attack the Seahawks, do you think it could be another Cleveland situation where they try and run the football to kind of get themselves going and get those chunk yards, like you said, because of the missed tackles and take advantage of what Seattle kind of gives them?
Seattle is struggling to defend the run right now, and I do feel like that's the way to go if you're the Chargers. Get Austin Eckler going. I think Joshua Kelly is going to be out because of injury, so maybe we see Sony Michel, or maybe we see Isaiah Miller. Hasn't really contributed, fourth round pick that we thought looked pretty good in training camp. Maybe they figure out a limited amount of plays that he can get out there and perform. But I do feel like that's the path to success for the Chargers this weekend, is to run the football, let Justin Herbert play off of that. And then defensively get after Geno a little bit, see if you can create some pressure, create some turnovers defensively. And then when in your red zone, you can't settle for field goals. You got to score touchdowns. I think this is a game, if you get to 25, 26 points, the first team that is able to do that, I feel like is going to win this game. And I like the Chargers going into this one just because I think the quarterback's going to be the difference in Justin Herbert.
And when you look at Kenneth Walker, just what has he brought to this run? Because, I mean, the Chargers have struggled at times to stop the run. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt kind of gashed them in the first half of that game. They've had other other running backs kind of take it to them. So what have you seen from him?
Very elusive runner, very strong runner, a guy that's hard to get down, that first contact. I think he had 12 missed tackles according to Pro Football Focus in last week's win for the Seahawks against the Arizona Cardinals. Through this first 6 games, Pro Football Focus has him with 44 missed tackles, which is the highest rate in the league, according to Pro Football Focus. So very elusive runner, very strong runner who's going to create chunk plays. It's going to be important for the Chargers to get all 11 men to the football to get this guy down. And it's something that the Chargers have had issues with through the first 6 weeks, particularly, as you mentioned, against Cleveland, giving up chunk plays in the running game and letting guys kind of, break loose. And so if they could limit those chunk plays against Seattle, both in terms of the running game and, who's going to guard DK, Jackson struggled a little bit. What's that matchup going to look like on the perimeter? Is it going to be Asante Samuel? Is it going to be, Mike Davis? Is it going to be Jackson? Are they going to have combo coverage against DK? Because I think those are the two key players in terms of the Chargers defensively, is they can't let Kenneth Walker, get going, and they have to limit, DK's explosive plays, from the Seahawks.
Can you just talk a little bit about DK? I mean, his size just makes him a disadvantage already. And then obviously if he went up against Asante is only 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. So, I mean, JC told me on Wednesday that he likes going up against those bigger receivers, but you just don't know how quickly Brandon Staley and the coaching staff is going to leave him in there, because you saw they took him out in the first half, after the first half of the Broncos game. So just what makes DK so explosive?
He's physical. I mean, he's a guy that runs 4.4 and he's 6'4", 230 pounds. I mean, he's hard to match up with. He's basically a tight end that's really fast and playing on the perimeter. And he's a decent route runner for his size. He's a beast in the running game too, in terms of stock blocking on the perimeter. So he's a guy it's kind of a heavyweight fight if you're a corner out there matching up play after play. But I do think that kind of fits Jackson's skill set better, is matching up against bigger guys. And so maybe they just man him up and let him play, and you don't worry about, whether you're going to have bust in zone coverage, and you just let him follow DK all over the field, and that's his matchup, and see if he can kind of build confidence off of being able to lock down somebody like DK. But DK is a problem. They're going to take 3 or 4 shots with him down the field. They're going to test the Chargers secondary, and we'll see how they hold up.
Yeah, and there's been lapses. I mean, there's been times where you ask Brandon Staley and he's like, "Yep, it was Nas or it was JC," or like there has been that lapse so far this season at times. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Carroll and and this offense tested it. When you look at Tariq Woolen, what makes him like last 4 games? I think he has a pick in each of the last 4.
Mhm.
Just and you said he came out of a small school. What has made? How has he been able to climb so quickly up the ladder and into the starting lineup?
Well, I think the first thing you have to talk about is his athleticism. I think he ran 4.26 at the combine at 6'4", 210 pounds. I think he had like a 44-inch vertical or something ridiculous. So really, it's size, speed. He's a former receiver, so he has ball skills and he understands route concepts, and I think can recognize routes quickly. And then I think he's great when the ball is in the air. He turns into a receiver when the ball is in the air. And I think that's why you're seeing the production from him, as you mentioned, 4 interceptions in 4 straight games. He's a Seattle corner. When Pete first got there, he wanted long rangy guys. You saw Richard Sherman emerge. You saw Brandon Browner emerge, who I think that Tariq compares more to Brandon Browner in terms of his size and his length. And he's playing on the right side where Brandon played. So yeah, I mean, and Seattle, one of the reasons they got good so quick is they were willing to throw young guys in there and let them make mistakes and coach them up as they did that. And then you're seeing that this year with this year's draft class. They're throwing them out there. They're willing to live with the mistakes because they feel like, it's a race to maturity. You want to get those guys good as quickly as possible so you could take advantage of them being on those rookie deals and being on those rookie contracts. So it's good. It's good having good coaching that is willing to develop younger players and willing to live with the mistakes. And certainly you see that in Tariq, and I think he's only going to get better.
Does Tariq follow the number 1, or he just stays on the right side?
I believe he just stays on the right side, and their guy that plays on the left side just stays on the left side. I don't think he travels.
Okay. And then lastly for me, just what do you think is going to be key for you? Give me one key for each team to take advantage of the other this weekend, whether it be offense, defense, or like we saw on Monday night, special teams.
I think for the Chargers, just play a clean game. Try not to get behind the sticks. Try to stay on schedule offensively. As I mentioned, when you get into the red zone, make sure you're putting the ball in the end zone. If they can get Keenan back, I think that's going to be huge and got to have it moments, whether it's, down in the red zone or on third down when you need to convert a first down. Though obviously those are situations where Keenan thrives. So I think for the Chargers, again, just being able to convert and have Justin make plays in key moments of the game where they can maybe play from ahead and run the football. I think if you're the Seahawks, it's kind of the same strategy. You want to run the ball with Kenneth Walker. You want to create chunk plays. Geno Smith, who we haven't talked about, is really playing lights out for them. Obviously, he was with the Chargers for a year as Phillips' backup. I believe it's 2018. A lot of people are surprised by his play. I'm certainly one of those people, but in talking to people within the organization, they say that Geno has done a great job of just continuing to work. He's very decisive in terms of his reads. And if nothing is there, Geno's going to run the football. So that's something that the Chargers need to be look out for defensively, is Geno taking off and creating plays with his feet. So I think they can get after Geno. I believe the Cardinals sacked Geno 5 times last week. So if they can heat up the pass rush with Khalil Mack, find another person to come off the edge, get the Seahawks in bad down and distance situations, maybe they can create some turnovers that way. But I think the Chargers are going to want to play from ahead in this one.
And having him, like you said, he has a chip on his shoulder. Does that make him even a little bit more dangerous, just because you've heard everything Geno's been saying? He said it after the Seahawks or after the Broncos game. He said it a couple of times that he has a chip on his shoulder. Do you feel like that makes him more dangerous?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think obviously the motivation helps. One of the things you got to talk about with Geno is the fact that he played behind Phillip, played behind Eli Manning, played behind Russell Wilson, was able to learn from those guys, and you could see that experience. He's a student of the game, is really helping him now in this season where he's got another opportunity, maybe his last opportunity at a starting job, and he's taking full advantage of it. So yeah, I just think anytime you can, obviously get pressure on quarterbacks and get them off their mark, then that helps you as a defense. But certainly Geno right now, I think you're right. He's kind of using that fact that maybe people wrote him off, but he said that, people wrote me off, but he didn't write back. He's certainly using that as a way to get his mind right each week.
And Eric, you already kind of mentioned it, but what's your prediction for Sunday?
My prediction for Sunday is Chargers 27, Seahawks 23, which I don't know if that's great because I haven't been right on these very often this year. But I do like the Chargers in this game to get their winning streak to 4. I think it's a favorable matchup for them. I think they're the better team. But I am concerned a little bit about the injuries going into this one and who's going to be available, for the Chargers this weekend. If Keenan's on the field, I feel a lot better about it. If he's not, then, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now with all the injuries around the NFL and everything. And then obviously the Chargers are going into their bye week. So that's a little bit of like a toss up with Keenan. Like, oh, should we rest him maybe those extra 2 weeks and he can be right for coming back for the to go over to Atlanta, or should we play him, let him get his feet under him, and then takes the bye week to kind of relax and then goes to Atlanta and everything. So that's kind of the dilemma, I guess, with the team. But Eric, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to follow him at Eric D. Williams. No, right? No, I got it wrong.
You did that on purpose, Fernando. It's Eric _D _Williams. Hey, there's a lot of Eric Williams out there, so I'm trying to mix it up so people can find me. Fernando's been telling me I need to change it. He's probably right, but I'm old school. I'm just gonna keep it the way it is.
No, exactly. Well, yeah, but I'm just I don't know. Maybe some fans can help you change your name on there. But no, it's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna repeat it at Eric _D _Williams. Don't forget, Charger fans, you guys are always telling him we miss you. We hope you're doing well. This, that. Well, here he is jumping on What's Up Bolts to talk a little Chargers and talk a little Seahawks. Don't forget to check out his stuff, obviously, at his Twitter, at Fox Sports. Also, check out Eric's stuff. He covers the NFC West, does a little AFC West as well. So you see him dabbling in a lot of different things. But, Eric, we appreciate you jumping on with us. And thank you so much. And keep on doing great stuff. I love checking out your stuff. I always learn a lot when I read your stuff. So hopefully everybody out there, you guys need education. Go out there and read Eric's stuff so you can learn more.
As always, Fernando, I appreciate you and the checks in the mail.
That's not true. And that's not true. Dan, good stuff from Eric. Obviously breaking it down. Geno Smith, no slouch. I know the Chargers are going to have their hands full this weekend. There are question marks still about the Chargers. It's still unknown if Keenan Allen's going to play. He told Daniel Popper of The Athletic that they have thought about maybe sitting him this weekend and just letting him go into the bye week. That'd be 8 weeks he's missed with the hamstring injury. So that'd be 8 weeks going into the bye week, coming back. He'd come back fresh. The Chargers could do that, but and wait until they play the Falcons in Atlanta, or they could just play him this weekend and let him kind of get his feet under him.
Yeah,
before
I would rather have him go limited if he could, just to get a little bit more into football shape.
Well, the thing is, too, you have Josh Palmer, who Josh Palmer is in concussion or he had a concussion. He missed practice. So that's another thing. What happens if Palmer's down? What happens if Keenan doesn't play?
We didn't see Michael Bandy on Monday night, right?
He played a couple of snaps. He had one catch for 4 yards, but I mean, they're gonna have to integrate more of the more of the offense, especially if Keenan and
well, now Josh they're gonna have to mix it up. There's no way you don't put Eck in the slot or something.
Well, and this is what I asked. Just for people who didn't see the tweets or anything, but Josh Kelly, second running back, is supposed to be out for a couple of weeks. And so we asked Brandon Staley, so what's going to happen with that second running back position? Because it seems like he had kind of taken it over. And he said that Larry Roundtree and fourth rounder Isaiah Spiller are gonna fight for that position, and they're gonna see this week who's gonna be the one that edged it. And I asked them again, like I was like, okay, I need to ask this one too. Then I'm like, hey, you guys have had Jason Moore on since Keenan Allen, or since Joey Bosa and Rashawn Slater were placed on IR. And he hasn't had any catches. He hasn't really been integrated into the offense. I'm like, and now you guys have used it. So just for the people who don't know, you only get 3 call-ups for a player, and then from the practice squad, and that's it. You can't use them after you're done. So you have to bring them up to the main roster or just leave them down in your practice squad. Michael Bandy has already been used 3 times. So I asked him, have you guys thought about possibly bringing up Michael Bandy and then leaving and then maybe releasing Jason Moore and putting him back on the practice squad? And he said that that's something that they're going to talk about this week and see what happens this week as well. So that'll be something interesting to see. But Dan, just real quick, I guess it's the elephant in the room and we got to talk about it. There's been some frustration, I'm sure, from the Chargers over. So let's start off with talking defense versus the Seahawks offense.
Yeah.
There's been some frustration from fans. There's been frustration from a lot of people, but the frustration this player has, it starts with him. He's the one that's frustrated, and that's JC Jackson. JC Jackson is frustrated, but I give him credit, Dan, because I've been around now. God, Eric made me think about it the other day. This is my 10th season around the Chargers, 10th season being around different sports and being in different locker rooms and stuff. A lot of players in this situation would run from the media, and I'm being honest. Yeah. A lot of players would run from us. They wouldn't talk to us. JC Jackson's standing there and he's taking it. He's sitting there. We're asking him questions. He's answering them. He's giving us blunt answers. He told me today, or he told me on Wednesday, it's incredible the way coaches and my teammates have my back. It's time for me to have theirs. And he's like, I need to do better. I need to show up, be the first one in, last one out. I need to do better. I need to review film better. Well, this is what Brandon Staley had to say today or on Wednesday, when asked about JC Jackson and what he thinks needs to happen moving forward for JC to get better.
Yeah, I mean JC, like I said, had a tough night the other night, but we're going to make sure that we stay patient with him. Okay, because he's got all the tools that we're looking for. I got to do a better job coaching him, getting him in a comfort zone. But we expect him to be out there this week and playing his brand of ball. And I think, he's going to learn a lot from what happened the other night. Hey, what he needs to do with his game, what we need to do as coaches. And like I said, that's as much on me as anybody.
So just real quick, JC gave up 2 big plays. The Greg Dulcich play, the 39-yard touchdown. Him and Nas were in the back. So I think it was Asante to Cortland, and Dulcich was the outside guy. That's who he was supposed to be taking. And then KJ Hamler went inside. That was supposed to be Nas's guy, and Nas stayed with KJ. Asante stayed with Cortland, and the bad part is KJ grabbed Jackson, and Jackson kind of came inside and left Dulcich wide open for that 39-yard touchdown. So basically, I think preaching patience is smart from Brandon Staley, because I'm going to be honest, that player, the one that caught 25 interceptions in 4 seasons for the Patriots, that guy's in there. I don't buy this whole Bill Belichick system and all that. Because I understand Bill Belichick does do great work, and he's a defensive-minded guru. I get it. But this kid's only 26 years old. There's no way you can tell me that the kid doesn't know football. And I don't believe that. I think that they need to be patient with him. I think he needs to learn, obviously, what he needs to learn from the team, but I just don't believe that he all of a sudden just doesn't know how to play football.
And that's the thing, right? Like, all those physical tools that he has, you can't teach. Like how to run well with receivers, how to spot the ball, how to be a ball hawk, how to get picks, how to fuel the receiver, how to know when to jump and when not for the double move and all that stuff. You can't coach those things. He has those in there. But the problem is either he doesn't know maybe the playbook, he doesn't trust himself, he's nervous he's on a different team, or maybe, Bill Belichick kept it black and white for him in that New England defense. I don't know what it was that kind of the switch he's been struggling with, but it's like we talked about last time, right? All it takes, like anything else, is repetition, dedicating some time to it to perfect your craft. That's all it's going to take, dude. And that's what you have to do until you finally get that juice back up. Because it's all about confidence, dude. If you think you're going to lose, you're 100%, you've already lost, like before the game even starts. You have to come in with that dog mentality that our Compa, Coach Sirianni, always talks about. You have to think you're the baddest on the planet, no matter as long as you believe it. It doesn't matter if everyone else believes it, but if you believe it, you're going to play to a higher level, 100%.
Agreed. And obviously he said he's going to cover, or he said that he likes covering big receivers this weekend. He'd be facing DK Metcalf, and Brandon did say he's still going to be a starter. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, Geno Smith is thrown for 9 touchdowns, only thrown 2 picks. He has been sacked 14 times, so it's going to be key for guys to get at him. Kenneth Walker is a running back who has been very explosive, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. So obviously Tyler Lockett's on this offense. Noah Fant came over in that trade for Russell Wilson. So this offense is explosive. Dan, what is the defense going to need to do to kind of slow these guys down?
I think 100% what they need to do is control the run. Control your gaps, be physical up front. Don't make Geno beat you. Don't freaking start getting all over the place, getting hot and bothered, getting moved out of your gap, because I think they're going to try and be physical up front 100%, especially because they've seen it, right? That was the key to success against when the Chargers played Jacksonville. Pound the football, play action pass, maybe a few quick drops, control the clock is the main play of the game. If they can run 2 times the amount of plays that the Chargers offense does, just like Jacksonville was able to do, they're going to win the game. You control the clock, exhaust the defense. That's the key to it.
So Dan mentioned it. They're going to be playing against Pete Carroll, and he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. So this is what Brandon Staley had to say about going up against Pete Carroll this weekend.
Get a lot of respect from afar. He stood the test of time in this league, and since he's become the head coach there, his results speak for themselves. Multiple Super Bowls, countless division titles, and what he did at SC, and what he did before he got to SC as a pro coach. So one of the top coaches in the game, and we have a lot of respect for him.
That's the thing too, right? Like, he's one bad play from being a 2-time Super Bowl winning, a 2-peater. It hasn't probably been done since, I don't know, maybe one of the Patriots teams, but shame. But that's what happens when you don't.
When somebody asks you who's your hero, what do you say? Mr.
Am I supposed to say Mr. Unlimited? They won that first Super Bowl, Frau, because of Russell Wilson's arm. The defense scored 14 points, and maybe the kick return got another touchdown, but he was there. You know what Pete Carroll probably told him in the Super Bowl? All right, listen. All you need to do is exist between the 3 seconds you snap the ball and hand the ball off to Booby. That's all you need.
Exactly.
Hey, name that movie. If you're listening, tag me on the Twitter. Name that movie. We'll get some trivia going, dude.
Chargers offense. Like I told you, this Seahawks defense is no slouch. Shelby Harris came over from the Broncos. You have Jordan Brooks, who today or on Wednesday, Brandon Staley was raving about, calling him one of the best young linebackers. Uchenna Nwosu has 3 sacks on the season. They have Tariq Woolen, who's a great rookie corner, and they have Quandre Diggs, a safety who's very good and has been around the league for a while. He was with the Detroit Lions before. So this defense is going to be no slouch. It's going to be difficult to face these guys. So Dan, what do you have to do this weekend to win if you're the Chargers?
Okay, I've already said run the football, be efficient, so I'll leave that one alone. I don't want to be a repeater. Obviously, one thing you have to do, I have 2 things, just real quick. The first one is real quick. one thing you have to do is make sure Chenna Nwosu does not have a big game. Because he probably circled this one. He thinks I'm not good enough to be resigned. All right, that's cool, dude. I got that calendar game circled up. And I know he's going to try and downplay it if someone asks him, but everyone has that. You go against a former team, you go against a former coach you didn't like or whatever, you're gonna play a lot harder, right? My key this week for real is I think Justin Herbert you need to get him back to being more comfortable. I love the son of Odin. I love the God of Lightning. I didn't like the way he played on Monday. And I don't think it's the fact that we're not taking shots because those deep routes are probably covered because they don't want to get beat downfield. I have no problem with checkdowns. The only problem is there was a few times his reads were wrong and he rushed it. And we already talked about that. There was one on a rollout, I think. Not only does he throw it to Horvath late, but he had Everett open on a corner. Then there was another one where he had time and decided to throw instead of waiting for Everett to release and be open right there down the middle. That's my key to success today, or for this Sunday. You have to get Herbert comfortable, go through his progressions, go through his reads. And if he wants to take off and run, take off and run. Obviously slide, for God's sake. Do not get killed. But that's my key to the game. You got to make him comfortable. You got to make him feel in his mojo again.
I agree. Dan, give me a fantasy player.
100% fantasy player. You know who it's going to be, I think. I can pick Seahawks players also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to say the Seahawks running backs. I don't know if they do it by committee or I haven't seen many other games.
Well, what's the name? San Diego State product.
Rashard Penny's hurt though, right?
Rashard Penny's hurt. So now
Yeah,
it's now, like I told you, it's Kenneth Walker and DJ Dallas. So I think you'll see more Kenneth Walker.
So Kenneth Walker's going to be my player to watch, right? They already know there's a certain D lineman I know they can get physical with, put him in the second level. So if he's in the game, I'd run it right at his ass every single time. But that's going to be my key to the game. If you can spread these guys out, get them running, getting chasing, getting gassed, be physical up front, keep them guessing, down block, zone block, block, kick out, trap, power, fullbacks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Keep the front seven guessing what type of block they're going to receive. Be physical up front, control the clock, get this guy his touches. That's who's going to be my fantasy player to watch.
This is going to be write it down. This is going to be Mike Williams' first big game at SoFi Stadium this season. He hasn't had one yet. I think this is his big game. I think he shines this weekend, and he goes into the bye week feeling really good about himself, especially after the performances that he's put up. Dan, give me an X factor.
My X factor. Okay, who have I already used? I've already used Eckler. I've used the offensive line. I've used
Joe Lombardi.
I didn't want to say his name. But that's all right. Him. Let's see. Who's going to be my X factor?
I think you're just going to go with him.
Offense? No, I can't pick him again unless you want me to. I don't care.
It's your thing.
No, because I don't want to say the same guy every week, or else I will. You know what? Here's going to be my X factor. I think X factor is going to be head coach Brandon Staley, and this is why I'm going to say it. I think if my memory serves, well, first off, I love Brandon Staley and Staley. I trust nobody get it twisted. God, nobody get that twisted. But he's going to be my X factor because of this, right? I think he has a bad record facing Super Bowl winning head coaches, if I remember correctly, or if Twitter doesn't lie to me. I think that's what it is. So I think the big key is going to be obviously have a good game plan going in, but you got to feel the game. And then come halftime, you have got to make adjustments against Pete Carroll because he is still a savvy head coach. He's no stooge. And it's evident because he has his team at 500 when I'm sure on paper no one would have thought they'd be at 500 at this point. Potentially trying to fight for an NFC West division title.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I think Staley really needs to get the communication flowing between his coordinators and everybody else to make sure you come up with a good game plan. Then at halftime, you have got to start making adjustments in the game and see what we're doing. And mind you, just because I say that doesn't mean I know some inside baseball that he doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's just one thing I'm saying without, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm going to go J.C. Jackson. I think this is the game where J.C. Jackson gets it together. He'll play tougher. He'll play better. And honestly, I mean, you hope that that he gets better and that he's able to fit more into the system. So I'm going to go J.C. Jackson is my X factor this weekend for the Chargers.
Well, yeah. What better way to get juiced up than freaking locking down DK Metcalf, dude, who's probably
Exactly.
2 times his size.
Yeah, no, DK's a big dude. Dan, give me your prediction for Sunday.
I think it's going to be close, but I think the Chargers are going to win.
Okay. I'm going to go. Yeah, I'll say they go 5-2 into the 5-2 into the
Bye.
into the bye week. I'll say Chargers 31. No, Chargers 28. Seahawks 20.
Oh, you have it high scoring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a little bit of a high scoring game, but yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. Guys, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to our compa Eric Williams for jumping on with us and breaking down everything for us. That's he's the man, he's the compa. We appreciate him so much. Guys, don't forget, check out House of Horns. I know those lazy bums have a bye week, but obviously Gilbert and Vic did they did do a podcast real quick before they headed out, or well, Gilbert did before he heads out on his mini bye week. Dan and I can never find him during the bye week, no matter if it's Chargers or Rams. He's always gone somewhere. So who knows where he's at? But they did a good breakdown of Christian McCaffrey, and who knows, maybe the Rams do end up getting him with that offensive line. If I was Christian McCaffrey, I don't think I'd want to come out to the Rams.
Obviously, he's finally going to have a healthy year, and that's going to put him in the ground, dude.
Don't forget to check out also Combat Compas. I know that he already fought, but don't forget to check out our interview with Deontay Wilder. If you want to see what's next, we have it. We asked him. He told us what he thinks is next. And don't forget to check out Compas on the Beat, our regular show. We break down everything that was week 5 in the NFL. Week 5.
Oh,
yeah,
this is week 6, I think.
Oh, 6. Oh my God, I'm not well. Week 6 in the NFL. We have some good laughs. We talk about which movie of The Rock is our favorite. We have some other really cool stuff that we have, but we appreciate you guys so much for rocking with us. That's another episode of What's Up, Bolts? I'm Fernando Ramirez. That is Dan and Dago. Reminding you, be a friend, tell a friend, like, comment, let us know what you guys like about the show. And if you guys have any questions, throw them our way. But we appreciate you guys so much. Have a good weekend.
Vámonos.